We're back. I was having technical difficulties. Your mammy called me. Said she was having problems with the refrigerator. I let her know, baby, it ain't plugged in. Alright, so I was getting into what the game had said on Instagram, and I was cause what he said had some merit to it, but you know, it obviously it's gonna be controversial to some people, but I just wanted to talk about it and see, you know, just get my little, you know what I'm saying, 1-2 on it. But I get where he's coming from, but then again, there's certain parts of it that can be argued with, you feel me? So what he said was, and this is from the game, the rapper, hated 11 underdogs on top, you know what I'm talking about. I can't think of another game song. That's terrible. Oh, the shit he did with Wayne. And I'm grinding till I'm tired. I can only think of Wayne part. That's crazy. I can't think of nothing else with the game. I rock with brother. He a real nigga, but I can't think of nothing, none of the else in that nigga music. I ain't even gonna hold you. But what he said was, only women and children and dogs are loved unconditionally. Men are only loved under the condition that he provides something. Simple, sweet, short. I'm gonna reiterate that. Only women and children and dogs are loved unconditionally. Men are only loved under the condition that he provides something. Now, as true as that statement is, the first thing I'm going to do, I am going to play devil's advocate, and I'm going to pinpoint the holes within that statement before I show before I give you the latter end of my opinion and show where I agree. But first, I'm going to dissect it and show where I disagree. All right, men are sometimes loved unconditionally, depending on who the family is. I mean, I love my brothers unconditionally. They are men. They don't have to provide me with shit, right? Nothing. But I love my brothers unconditionally. They are men. I love my homeboys unconditionally. They don't have to give me a fucking thing. The only thing that they have to give me, that my homeboys and my brothers have to give me, is loyalty. That's it. So I don't expect nothing from them. But I do love them unconditionally. Now, you could argue that that's taking the statement out of context and using family, which generally everybody knows that family do, technically should love you unconditionally. Not all family does. We're not going to go there. But, so now if you would argue and say, okay, but you're taking that out of context and you're using the family as an example or a kind of like an anomaly type of thing, or it's not really an anomaly, it'd be the wrong word, I guess, for the lack of a better word, as an excuse. But all right, cool. So if you want to use that argument and say that, so take family out of it. So now when you're talking about the other side of life, you're talking about as a man for his women, his children, the girls he messed with, certain things like that, the family. Women tend to love their men unconditionally until that man forces them to remove themselves from that unconditional love. And sometimes some women can't do that. That's the whole point of women getting into abusive relationships, and they can't let go. They feel like they become to start feeling like they're the problem. They got a whole psychological term for the shit. It's I can't remember it right now at the top of my dome. I've been drinking, as you can see. Don't judge me. But it's a whole psychological term for it, where it's like a battered woman syndrome. I think that's what it's called. Look it up. I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe it's called battered woman syndrome. And it's where the woman has been in an abusive relationship for so long that she begins to feel as if she is the one why. She's the source of it. She's the reason why it's happening. She's the blame. She's the you know what I'm saying, the manifesto of the whole thing. I don't know if manifesto would be the right terminology right there, but I think it is. I don't know. Whatever. But So yeah, women tend to do love their men unconditionally. It's just as men we tend to fuck that up. We tend to do things that they usually remove themselves from us about. And like I said, some women get trapped in it to where they love their man so unconditionally they don't know how to remove that unconditional love. So that's also a part of it. But another part where I'll dissect it and say where I will say it's a little faulty is when you judge the unconditional love of men versus women, children, and dogs. They all have their own specific standards, right? You have unconditional love for your dog because your dog tends to give you comfort when nobody, without speaking, without even having to understand what you have going on, without even having to empathize or sympathize, your dog still gives you that comfort because you find a sense of like a sense of euphoria, I guess, with that pet that gives you some sort of relief when you're around them because they can just give you that energy back. It's like an energy type of thing, I guess. I don't know. So there's a lot of people who have unconditional love for their dog. You have unconditional love for your children because your children is basically the offspring of you. They're your seed. They're you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's you. So, of course, you're going to have unconditional love for your child because your child is the most innocent thing that will ever come from you. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing else more innocent that's going to come from you but your offspring, but your spawn, your child. That's the most innocent thing that's going to come from you. Beautiful thing, awesome, amazing. It's a gift to the world, but it's the most innocent thing that will come from you. So, with that being said, you look at that innocence and you tell yourself that innocence cannot be replaced by anything else, which creates a form of unconditional love. Even when your child gets 16, 17 years old and they start fucking doing the wildest, dumbest shit, parents still love their fucking kids, crashed their fucking car, stole it, crashed in the middle of the night, stole money out their account, spent off the credit cards, got in trouble in school, getting bad grades. They still love their fucking child because you still look at your child as if that is the most innocent thing that can come from you. That's why we always say, shh, he fucked up. God damn it, where he get it from? Got to be his daddy or his mama. Because you know that if it wasn't from you, where else could it be coming from? That's why that's the most innocent thing. That's why we try to mold our kids into a better version of us. Because we know how innocent our kids are. So that's unconditional love for innocent kids. Now you talking about unconditional love for women. Women tend to get unconditional love because of also birth, which they do something that no other, obviously the male species, no other male species besides seahorses, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if they carry the eggs or they birth them, I can't remember, but I believe seahorses, that no other male species can do. So that gives them a portion of that unconditional love as well. But I think the main thing for women is women tend to have a way to get to a certain person's heart or their mind. And that's why niggas always fuck up. That's why the biggest drug dealers always fuck up by the female. That's why the highest political men always fuck up by women. That's why the coolest nigga you know in the streets got his heart broke by a bitch. The most player nigga you know out here got his heart broke by a bitch. Because when you find that certain person that knows how to get to your inner core, they know how to touch your soul. Like, you ever seen one of the movies where a bitch hit you with one of these and they put their finger right through a bitch's spirit, like right through their body, and just touch the spirit, and they like, ding, and the bitch is like on some whole Matrix shit, nigga just like, oh my God. Like, it's like that. Like, you find that person, that one woman, and she could do it to her kids, she could do it to her, like, it's certain people that one, like, she'll be able to do it to her dad, but she can't do it to her mom. She'll be able to do it to her brother, but she can't do it to her cousin. She can do it to her sister, but she can't. Like, women, so like that woman, like, women know how to get in touch with people's, like, core, with their souls, with their like that energy that's manifesting inside that you don't really release. A lot of women feel that shit. They know it's there, and it just takes that one person to be able to touch you, and that bitch just everything just come out. So it's like that ability to just be able to absorb the pain, absorb the hurt, absorb the empathy, take all the sympathy, take all the everything, and to be able to absorb all of that. It's like, how can you not love them? You know what I mean? It's like how? You don't want to worry, all right, bitch, I love you. How can you not love them? Like, it's hard not to love us, like your mama. It's hard not to love your grandmama. It's hard not to love your aunties. It's hard not to love your sisters. It's hard not to love your cousin, your female cousins. Like, you could tell your male cousins, fuck up off back. Fuck them. But those women that sit you down like, baby, let me tell you something. You ain't doing what you supposed to do by that woman. You ain't woo. You ain't, baby, let me tell you something. She ain't going for you, baby. You ain't supposed to be going out there right. You need better than that. Like, them women just be having that third eye, that sixth wall where they can just peek behind, and they just like, okay, I see what's going on here. Let me go ahead and just throw you a little 1-2, let you know I can't give you everything, but I'll let you know what I see. It's like they seers. Like, you ever seen like in like the Norseman shit like that? It's like they seers. Like, they can just tell. They just know. They can see the path you're going down, and they tell you like, hey, look, you were destined for greatness, but that greatness will cause you and put you through so much pain and agony. You will relinquish everything you have ever gained. You would want to relinquish everything you've ever gained. They will give you some shit like that. You're going to be like, huh? What? But that shit means so much. She just told you exactly what you was gonna go do. And you just can't, like, they just amazing, bro. So that's them. I could talk about women all day and how fucking beautiful and great they are with certain things. That's just like, they get that unconditional love because of that. Men, due to the fact that men have controlled history for so long, we have realized and noticed how fucked up men are. So men have lacked unconditional love in a lot of different areas because men have always took on the power role. See, y'all thought I was gonna get you with some bullshit like, men are just that, they just feel that, ooh, nah. No, you thought I was gonna hit you with some bullshit. No, that's not what we here for. We not here for bullshit. You don't want to hear what I'm got to say. You feel like it's too, that boy sound too whoop-de-whoop, and fine, go on about your business. I'm telling you what it is. This is what I believe. This is how I see it. Men have always been in control. They have always controlled the power source, the power struggle. Always. So when you look at it and you think about the hierarchy of where the classes are for genders, men have always been at the top, clearly, right? Regardless of you black, white, you've always been at the top in classes of gender because of men. So when we realize how much things men have did, how much things men have created, how many things men have fucked up, it allows you to bear some resentment to the whole species. Why do you think women walk around here and say they hate men? Why do you think they say, I just don't fuck with them? Because they have learned to bear resentment because they have seen all the bullshit that men have done throughout centuries, even to this day. So if you put it like this, it's like, all right, men have always controlled everything, technically, right? All the powers. They've always controlled all the powers, right? So when you have somebody who is in the position of you're able to do better than the other person because of just a thing that you are born with, you are expected more of. White people are expected more of because, bitch, you was able to in my mind, because you was able to do shit that niggas couldn't do. You know what I'm saying? So, bitch, you should be way off better than us because you couldn't do certain things, so you should be more expected of than me, right? It's flipped because we expect black people to do more than whites because we have to override all the bullshit we've been through. But that's the way it should be. This is the way it is. And when I'm telling you the way it is, we have to be better than it. The way it should be is you should expect white people to be better off than us. You should expect white people to be doing more than us because they have been put in a position of to be better than us just because of something they were born with. Their innate is just nature. It's just what it is. So with that being said, when a man is not doing what he's supposed to, when a man is not providing, when a man is not taking care of his family, when a man is not being there for his people and his loved ones, he loses that love. He loses the whole name and the whole reason behind why he is called a man. So yeah, there is no unconditional love for a man because a man needs to do these things because this is where I agree. You see how I just transition into my agreement just like that? Like, I not keep up. Keep up, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But there's no unconditional love for men because men have always controlled everything. So my guy, you should be doing what you should be able to do. You should be able to take care. You should be able to provide. You should be able to walk down that line of being a man. And if you can't walk down that line of being a man, then what are you really? Being a man means you take care and you provide. So if you can't provide, there ain't no unconditional love for you there. Especially by your baby mama, by your girlfriend. There's no unconditional love because as a man, that love comes from you being able to provide those things. You can't walk up to a random female and tell her you can't do none of that and tell her, baby, just love me for me. You just gotta have a good ass personality. You gotta have that mama's cooking. Baby. You gotta have that mama's cooking for you to be able to do that. So you're not doing that. So this is what I'm saying. For a man to get unconditional love, it has to be within the realm of his family, or it has to be a man who has done what he was supposed to do for a long period of time, where he has been sufficient and efficient for long periods of time. So now that gains you unconditional love. When you are able to provide, take care, and do what you and come through for years on years on years, that provides you unconditional love. So he's right, but he's wrong because you can get unconditional love as a man. You just have to do those things, right? Because when she realizes that you can do those things, and she understands that okay, maybe he may slip and fall here and there. He on his dick. He ain't got it right now, but I love him either way. Because I know what he's done beforehand, right? That's when a man gets unconditional love. When he is able to be sufficient and efficient enough for long periods of time. You can do that, you can gain that ability of unconditional love. There is nothing about in a man's innate ability or that he is born with by nature that is inherent about a man that allows somebody to be to make him unconditionally lovable. Nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing. Not one thing. And if you could find me one, nigga, name it. Name it. We are head forward. We have started every war in this world. We don't listen. Very stubborn. Very emotionless. Scratch that. Very emotionful and act to be as if we are emotionless. Fuck. Gotta go to the dentist, y'all. Oh, God. That's on the list, like, ASAP. There's one thing I do not play about. My fucking teeth. But, yeah, we act as if we're emotional. Emotionless, and we are very emotional. What is there as a man that when a man is born, once he gets a certain age, that you need to love him unconditionally, besides him being and doing what he's supposed to do? I mean, argument. Obviously, it's controversial. You could argue. You could say, "Nah, men are always unconditionally loved. Who do it?" I'm clear there's some women who's gonna argue that, but for a man to be unconditionally loved, he has to provide for a sufficient and efficient amount of time. Simple and plain. You're not gonna get in a relationship with a woman and she just loves you unconditionally unless you got mama's cooking, my boy. Like I said, she just not gonna happen. You can get into a relationship with a woman and love her unconditionally, but then after a year, 6 months, you just like her that damn much. Her personality just blends with you, meshes with you so well. And you love her unconditionally for after a while. But necessarily men, necessary. I'm you have to do and be for a sufficient and efficient amount of time. And I guess that kind of plays into the third thing that I was going to talk about, but we're going to say that for another episode, man. So this is right here. I'm going to cut this right here. I appreciate it, man. Tune in. I'm going to be putting this up on my YouTube. I'm going to be putting this up on, parts of it on Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Eventually, like when I get the editing right, I have it on my screen and whatnot. It's Tequiero Dinero. That's TEQUIER_DINERO. It's Tequiero Dinero. Money, love, money. That's me. Literally in the flesh. Money, love, money. Right? So just tune in to me, man. I'm really trying to put these videos out every week, every other week or so. And, with different topics, different things to talk about. Like I said, you see what we just went down. I didn't give you no bullshit ass answer. I didn't give you no fuck shit. Certain answers are going to be different. Certain answers I might be a little more on the other side of my world. Certain answers I'm on this side of the world. So you never know what you're going to get from me. You got to tune in and figure out. You know what I'm saying? I'm a puzzle sometimes. Sometimes I can call it a Rubik's Cube, but I don't think I'm complicated. I just, don't like to dumb it down for the simpletons. So y'all check me out. Like I said, man, tune into my shit. Like and subscribe. Thank you again for tuning in. Holla at your boy. You know how we come.